As global markets were once again reacting to financial problems around the world, the British Prime Minister was upbeat about the future for Britain in the new global age. But he recognised that financial structures had to change, and he was determined to lead the way.
We are in the first financial crisis of the global age. It's the first global financial crisis. We've also just come through what I would call the first resources crisis of the global age, with what's happened to oil, to commodities and to food. And we are facing a restructuring of industry and services that is global in its nature, precisely because the global flow of capital, the global flow of labour, the global flow of goods and services is more open, and should remain, in my view, as open as it has been, is more open in these decades than it has been at any time in our history. And what has happened? We've seen in the last 10 years the benefits of globalisation, which are cheaper consumer goods coming out of China and Asia. We've seen the benefits in low interest rates, and we've had low interest rates for a long period of time over these last 10 years. But we're now seeing the difficulties that have got to be overcome on resources, on restructuring, and on the reform of the financial system, if we're actually going to have a successful global economy that works for everyone and not just for a few. But if we are able to solve these problems, and this is my first message this morning, if we are able to solve these problems, then I believe the prospects for Britain and for countries that have got dynamism and talent and are able to produce the new products and the new goods and services that the world wants, the prospects are very good indeed. The world economy, whichever way we look at it, will double in the next 20 years.
And he was specific about the regulation of banks and the transparency that was needed to avoid a repetition of the reasons for the present problems.
For many months, people thought that we had a liquidity problem. Now people realise we have something bigger than that, a structural problem that has got to be dealt with. And we're basically talking about global financial flows that to some extent have been unsupervised and certainly undisclosed in other ways, global financial flows in a world where we simply have only national supervisors and national systems of regulation. So it was always the case that as the global economy changed, we would have to make changes in the way we supervise the flows of global finance and the way we deal with some of the problems that arise when you have a global economy and not just a series of national or sheltered or protected economies or even regional economies like the European Union.
In the UK and around the world, money had to start flowing again.
Now the problem, having recapitalised the banks, is to make sure that they're in a position to lend to small businesses and for mortgages and for the everyday work that people expect banks to do. So we will be bringing forward other measures where necessary to make sure that lending, that support for cash flow for small businesses is available.